Hey, I'm Samantha.
And I'm Nicole, and you're listening to The Power of We.
Each week, we will share with you our crazy journey of sobriety and success as a mother-daughter.
Our past is complicated, but it has made for 2 fascinating lives.
We have healed together through love and strength, through mutual respect. We've created an unconditional bond.
Our goal is to empower you, the audience, to be the best you can be.
Together, we will share tips of motivation, mindful tools, and explore our guest journey so we can all win together.
You are listening to The Power of We.
Welcome. This is so exciting.
How crazy is this?
I can't even.
Oh my gosh. Today we start our forever journey. The Power of We. We will highlight people's journeys of sobriety to mental health to business success and truth.
My daughter and I are both sober, something we are extremely proud to say. My son, he's also sober. We're on this journey together with you, our listeners.
Just around the corner, when it's the hardest to see, comes the light of good in the power of we. With that being said, we are so excited that we have this amazing, beautiful human being here with us today.
I can't even believe it. This is just unbelievable.
It's so amazing to have a lovely soul here, our life coach and our guest.
Camilla is a trained life coach, master NLP practitioner, certified hypnotherapist, and meditation teacher, and as well a Reiki master. She has a well-being business, Zen Me Coaching, by Camilla Sacre-Dallerup. Camilla is a global best-selling author of 3 self-help books and is also head judge on Dancing with the Stars in New Zealand.
Woo!
Super exciting!
Thank you. It's hard to sit here and not feel emotional right now and wanting to reach for the tissues. I'm holding it together because we've been on a long journey together.
I would say.
And we've been in each other's lives for a long time. So you've also been part of my journey, right? Writing my 3 books.
Yes.
And here we are, and just watching you like strive in this way and the bond that you have between you. I'm touched to the core right now. My heart is beating a little fast for you guys. I'm really proud. So proud.
Well, when we think about you, I always wonder, what would you tell your people out there? Crazy people like me that just came to you and I was like, didn't even understand what a life coach was. What do you say to them?
I say, are you willing to go on a journey? It might not be pretty. But if you're willing, then there's hope. I just think that that's the first thing. You got to be willing. And you were willing, right? You were willing. There was like a small door opening up. Okay.
It took me time. That reminds me, one of your very important tools is meditation. And I'm just going to tell a quick story. I remember she was like, why don't you just lay back and close your eyes? I'm like, lay back and close your eyes. I'm not closing my eyes.
I think that was the first time I actually asked you to do hypnosis with me. And then you were like, can I keep one eye open? And I think for the first year, whenever you meditated or did hypnosis with me, one eye was definitely open.
Of course.
Oh, I'm sure.
After that, you're like, just do your thing. I'll close my eyes and relax.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so crazy. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is just...
How did you transition from being Dancing on the Stars to Los Angeles and becoming a life coach?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a long journey. So I was on the actual original show called Strictly Come Dancing in the UK. And from there, the show Dancing with the Stars was born worldwide. So I was part of the original cast, and it was an amazing journey. I was there to see such a massive show come together, and everybody, the production, everybody praying to have 3 million viewers. And then we went from 3 million to 8 million to 11 million, and the show becoming a worldwide success. I mean, one of the biggest shows the BBC have ever sold worldwide.
Wow.
And so I had a long journey there, but after 6 years on the show, I found myself waking up and not being in love with my job anymore. And actually, I think for about 3 years, I prayed. And anybody who's ever been in a job where they're no longer in love with the job, they'll know what I meant. I felt lost, stuck, empty, so empty. And I was just praying every day, please, can I fall back in love with this profession that I have spent my entire life becoming an expert in. finally I'm there doing the coolest job on TV. You know, people were busy telling me how lucky I was, but all I could feel was how empty I was. And it was great money. It was, you know, I had so many fantastic opportunities through it. I worked in TV for 10 years because of the show, but inside I was not happy. So I went on a journey. So when you ask me, you know, how did I go to life coaching? I went on a soul searching journey for myself first. I had to go and find out, who am I without this, you know, amazing show attached to my name, without, you know, being Camilla the dancer. Who am I actually? When the spotlights are off, when I'm at home on my own, who am I?
Yeah.
That was quite scary, actually. And that's what then brought me to what I do today.
That's amazing. And what was your first step, you would say, in how you found yourself?
So I talk about this in my book, Reinvent Me, my second book. And that was the whole reason why I wrote Reinvent Me. Really, I felt so lost and stuck. So the first thing I did was I started working with a coach. I asked for help. That was really hard. I think anybody who's high achiever or, you know, just very dedicated in life to things can find it hard to reach out and say that I need help. But I found someone to work with me, just like you came to me. And I went on a kind of inward journey to find what makes me content. What does that even mean? I didn't even know what that meant.
Right.
What does it mean to be content? Because I wasn't. And I thought, this is crazy. I seemingly have everything in life.
Yeah.
I have a great lifestyle. I have my own apartment. Like, what's wrong with me is what I thought. Why can't I just be happy? But I realized that with all the trophies that I'd won, with all the, you know, amazing things that happened, I'd forgotten to actually tune into me and say, what does Camilla want? Because I had started a journey of becoming an expert and a champion at such an early age that I actually, in the end, was just doing it because I guess that's what I thought I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
And because I spent so long doing it, would I just be throwing all of that away? So I started on an inward journey, working with a coach and a hypnotherapist myself, repairing me from the inside out. And then I did something very important. I followed my passion in life. I thought, what lights me up? What's one thing that interests me? The brain, the mind is what has always interests me. I've always found it fascinating. So I started taking courses, whatever that was, you know, neuro-linguistic programming, mindfulness, hypnosis. I just kind of added things that I was interested in, not in the beginning to make a profession from it, but to kind of feed my soul. I just had given so much through performing. I was running on empty. I mean, I actually headed straight for a burnout at 35. So hitting like rock bottom with that and having to climb out of that is where I then thought, hang on a minute. I have all of these mind tools I've used to win. How do I use the mind tools? Because I really truly believe in the power of the mind.
Right.
And how can I use them to feel good inside out? And so that's what I then ended up sharing with people through my books and my practices.
That's amazing.
It's so
I mean,
incredible.
that's incredible.
You've helped so many people, including us. I mean
you've
really
helped me.
changed our life.
First, you helped me, and then I didn't even know you'd be helping my kids. It's very emotional.
Because you lead by example. That's what you did, right? So when your children, anybody's children, sees their parents feel good, they want some of that. And you're like, hey, what are you doing? Maybe I should come to that meditation.
Right.
I remember, right?
Yeah.
You were like, can I come to that meditation?
Yeah, I was like, what are the chakras? What is that? I need a crystal. Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of mistakes that parents make today is, oh, I'm just going to have a drink with my kids because I'm going to be the cool mom. Well, I was the cool mom until I wasn't. And I can remember sitting with you and you are like, when are we going to stop drinking? So, you know, unfortunately, my kids fell in my footsteps. And now that, you know, I'm sober and I'm healthy and I'm doing amazing.
And you're way cooler now. You are so cool. I find you
I thought I was cool then.
One of the funniest people I know. Honestly, your humor is brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you. But I mean, now my kids are sober, which is so cool. And they are following in my footsteps, except they're doing much better than I ever did at their age. It's like to watch them is so empowering. And not only that, I'm watching Nicole train other stylists in my company. And it's like she could never have done that if she was using before. And, you know, you have showed us tools, which is super important to me on this podcast, because I would love you to talk about the tools, because that's really what got me through.
And it's funny as you say that, I'm remembering back to being like your age, right?
Yeah.
Like even like 19, around that age. And I remember innately that I just didn't drink. It wasn't that I chose to be
That's
sober,
crazy.
but it was like something within me. And I remember we've spoken about things like this. And people always thought that was strange when I would say, oh, I don't drink. But I remember back to thinking, thank goodness I can say, because I've got a competition on Saturday.
Right.
Do you know, and I really respect how hard it can be for young people to kind of feel that peer pressure. Because I felt it too, but I had the excuse of sport, right?
It's so crazy how, I mean, people my age, like I'm 22, like we go to parties and it's so normal to just have those, you know, take a Molly or, you know, it's all the societal norms that we have in college these days. So it's so cool. But like you said, you felt like you needed to have something to fall back on. Like that's something I really want to get across to my viewers. Like, I don't want you guys to feel like you have to fall back on something. Like, you don't need to drink. Like, you can be yourself.
Yeah, totally. You don't have to make excuses. But coming back to tools, so what I learned to have tools for myself through sports. And I sort of share this a lot these days in the sense that I was an athlete, but actually most people these days are athletes, because what is expected of us just as in any career now is almost the same as what is expected from an athlete. But the difference is that as an athlete growing up, I was part of what was called the sort of sports federation in Denmark. It was called Team Denmark, which meant that from 16 years old, I was a champion, right? I got given somebody who would teach me about nutrition, my body, literally like a chiropractor, sports massage, so forth, ballet, all of the things, stretching that I had to do to be fit that way.
Wow.
So I knew what to eat, how to stretch, and then the mind. I was paired with a sports psychologist at 16 years old.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Right? So I had a team. So I learned from a very early age, you need a team, and that those teams that we had around us gave us tools. So I was never just left to going, oh, I don't feel well this week. Why can't I train? I would immediately know who to go to. And I think this comes back. This is what I like to help my clients do. I know that they need a team, whatever that team looks like, whether that's to get sober or to navigate through grief or trauma, whatever it is. It doesn't just take one person, but it takes a team of how can you feel mentally and physically well in this world, because stress right now is you know, it's high for people.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So tools. I mean, you can let me know which ones you might want me to touch on.
Yeah, I mean when you talk about team, I'm just having a total flashback. What did we used to do when we were little? When you guys were little and something would go wrong?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Team Xenia.
Oh,
How funny is that?
It's always
That's crazy.
Always
That
big
is
in leadership and teamwork.
Wow.
Xenia, I'm part of it now.
Okay, Team Xenia, activate. But I would say activate because, you know, they were little.
Activate. I love that.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. And it really made us feel empowered.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize back then I was trying to empower them, you know, and now I have a company and I try to empower my team. And I always say we are a team. And now Nicole has joined, you know, elite group, and she is becoming a leader in the team. It's super,
really cool.
super exciting, especially because, you know, Camilla, you're really part of this. I even brought Camilla, you, into our company and worked on tools with the salespeople, and I saw such difference. One of my salespeople that was, you know, just not making it, not quite there, and I couldn't push her enough. And so when you came in, all of a sudden the next month she did like 60 grand. I was like, yes, score.
Yeah.
So
I agree, and I think it's just knowing who do we need in that moment, because we can't say I'm never going to feel upset just because I meditate, right? I'm never going to feel angry, I'm never going to feel fearful, I'm never going to feel doubtful. Of course you're going to feel all of it. We're humans having a human experience, you know, that's part of it. But what we can do is go, wow, I'm feeling low today. I actually had a day like that the other day. I was just like, I felt, you know, when you wake up, you're just a bit drained and you're just like, oh. So instead of going, oh, that's going to be one of those days, I thought, what can I do to lift myself today so I can feel like in a good space before I see clients? So I went and put a combat, you know, like workout boxing, you know, 15 minutes boxing around my bedroom. And after I'd done that, I was like, oh, I feel better.
Yeah.
Like literally, I accepted how I was feeling. I didn't try to push it down. And I used that day, that was a tool for me. Another day, it could be breathing, walking, meditation is a constant, is a non-negotiable in my life, because this mind of mine, like most people's minds, is way too complicated and busy if I don't meditate, and I just don't feel good.
Yeah, and you talk about we have, what is it, 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have, who would have thought, but you know what I mean?
And most of those are the same as the day before. I mean, sorry, but I don't want to think the same thoughts as yesterday, do
Yeah.
you?
No,
No.
me either.
No.
Can we have some
Let's
new
make
ones,
Yeah,
please? And then Deepak Chopra actually says, and most of the thoughts are not even yours. That's the part that fascinates
That
me.
scares me.
Right? No,
by the
but
way.
It's
It
where are they
does.
coming from?
TV, radio,
Right.
people around you. You go down the street. You know how that curiosity, if you hear somebody having an argument and you're suddenly like watching and you're listening, and then in 5 minutes later, you start to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're like, sorry, what's the problem? You're like
Right.
reacting to something because you're picking up on a vibration. So we pick up all these things. And that's why I think it's so amazing at the end of the day to just go. I always imagine like a bright light above my head, almost like a shower when I get into bed. And I just let it like wash down through the body. And I literally say, please like wash away anything that's not mine. And then you just let
powerful.
it go.
I
Say
love
that
that.
again.
Please, so you just imagine a bright light above your head, almost like you're turning on a spotlight, right? And it's shining down through the body. And I feel it sort of like raining down through the body all the way down to the soles of my feet. I go, please wash away or take away anything that's not mine. Just purify now, please. And then I'm like, back to me.
Wow,
Because
I
powerful,
love
you know?
that.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
amazing.
That's
Mhm.
amazing. That's crazy. Well, you know, one of my favorite tools I use is meditation. Nicole knows.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for us, it's helped so much, especially in business. And for me, like being 22, having school and having all this outside pressure on me, I just know, like, you've taught me so much about how it all starts from within. So, again, taking 3 minutes out of the day to really stop, turn on that clarity and guidance meditation you can find through Camilla's website, and just really taking that time for myself. And I notice I can focus better afterwards, and I can really be myself. And I owe it all to you. So thank you.
But you're doing the work, and
Right.
that's the thing. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can be the best coach in the world. However, if the client isn't going to work with you, and that's why I always ask people, my clients beforehand, how committed they are. Because I can't go,
Yes.
it's like going to the gym, right? Nobody's going to do that annoying sit up for you that we all want somebody else to do for us, right?
Yeah,
You're
yes,
going to have to
please.
get on the floor and do that sit up yourself.
Mhm.
So you can share the tools, but you've been great, I'm going to say to students, right? Because you did the homework.
Right.
That's why you see results.
Yeah.
If you go home and you do the homework,
Right.
i.e. show up for yourself 3 to 5 minutes minimum every single day. Teach your mind who's in control.
Right.
Consistency is key with this.
Mm.
Even on the days you feel great. That's the
Mhm.
danger. When people feel great, they're like, oh no, I skipped meditation today because I feel great. I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Because then when you feel bad a few days later, it's too late.
And it's worse than it would have been
There
if
we
you
go.
just did that meditation
3
that day.
minutes,
Yeah.
5 minutes.
And by the way, Camilla always says when I'm upset, did you meditate? Oh, I skipped that one. But I will tell you, the other day I was completely stressed out. All these calls were coming in, and I pulled over on the side of the road in Manhattan Beach. I rolled up to my windows, and I was hoping there was no cop around to knock on my door, go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I literally put the meditation on. No joke. It was amazing. Amazing. I couldn't even believe it. I woke up and I felt so relaxed. It was
you
unbelievable.
reach for your tool.
And I reached for my tool, and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for you. That was, I would not be here today without all of your tools, your books, just, your talks.
Yeah.
You're amazing. You're very,
Thank
very
you.
inspiring.
Well,
So-
I'm inspired by you. I have to say it's a two-way thing as a coach because you know how involved I've been with you as a family, right? And you learn also as a coach, you have to, I think, to be willing and open to learn along your path because not two clients are ever the same.
Right.
It's not one approach fits all. Everybody's different. Something might take 3 months for one person and 3 years for another. There is no timeline.
Right.
That's what we always have to remember when we're navigating through the tough stuff. There is no timeline.
Right.
So as a coach, I believe, and this is truly something I will credit to my career as a dancer, that I have to be flexible too. I have to be willing to work at the pace of the client and what they need in the moment.
Right.
Why are you laughing, Sam?
I took a little longer than I was supposed to. She kept asking me, when are you going to stop drinking? And I would like, oh, I did stop drinking. So please, listeners, they know when you're lying.
I'm just going to say, I truly believe this all in his own divine timing.
Yeah.
I think I know now why everything has just come
look at
together
us.
how it's supposed to, all in its own divine timing.
So, Camilla, I mean, you've done so much in your life. I mean, you've been a dancer, you've been a mindfulness coach, and you do Reiki, you do all this stuff. So what is next for you on your journey?
I will carry on creating way more courses online so that it can reach more people. I concentrated on my books, and there probably will be a fourth one, but I don't know when I will take time to write that yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So yeah, I will keep creating. I really want to. I've sort of just created the first Learn to Love Yourself course because I really truly believe that self-love is vital for all of us. It was
So
a
powerful.
big journey for myself to learn to love myself, especially growing up in a world of dancing where we are judged on how we look all of the time and criticized, like from the feet to the fingernails to literally the whole body. So I spent a lot of time learning to love myself. That was a real big journey that I love sharing with others because I think a lot of choices we make in life change completely when we know our worth, that we know we're enough. And everybody, by the way, you're all enough, you're all worthy. And when we love ourselves. So I will carry on creating more courses like that people can take in their own time wherever they are, because I guess the pandemic has also taught us it doesn't matter where in the world we are, we can still connect through the web.
Well, that you can say again. I
Yeah.
didn't even believe in that Zoom. Remember?
I remember.
And now it's like, wow. But I do like it better in person.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, Zoom has changed like the world as well. I mean, we were able to have like life coaching sessions online when people weren't able to do that.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. And funny enough, actually, it was almost like an added bonus because when you do hypnosis or meditations online, you can click record and the
Yes.
clients were loving having a few days to listen to them afterwards. So
Yeah.
it was like a double whammy.
That's
really.
really important
Yeah.
that people know that
Yeah,
too.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's created personalized meditations. I know when I go home at night and I need that like energy clearing, I have my personalized energy clearing that I can put on before I go to bed, and it's a life changer.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
So what do you think is your next step? Do you think you will be able to, are you going to do anything with Dancing with the Stars?
I hope so. We're just waiting at the minute because of COVID and the pandemic. We postponed last year's series.
Right.
So we're waiting at the minute to see if it'll be this year. I'm hopeful it will be this year, but we really don't know yet. Travel permissions and so forth. So fingers crossed, because
Well,
I would
I'm
like you to
excited.
come out and see
Yes.
me.
You know, it's really funny. Sorry, I have to bring this up, but you know, Camilla's we always want to be perfect. We always want everything to go just right. And Camilla was on Dancing with the Stars in New Zealand, and all of a sudden you see her ponytail going off her head in the middle of the show. And of course I was laughing my head off.
That has to be the
But
funny.
it was like I watched her and how she handled it. I mean, seriously, amazing.
It was honestly, the lady, the judge on my right, she just kind of gives me this look, and we go like 3, 2, 1, you're live, and she goes, your hair. And then she looks on the floor, and they just gone, the camera's on you, and I'm like, and I'm just like, okay, and they just like gone like that, and they caught it on camera. There was just literally just slid down the whole way. But what happened before is this: I had like, and any woman who's ever had pins in her hair will know what I mean. I had one pin that done this like the whole morning, all the way through rehearsals. It was like pointing in my head, and so just as I was going on, I said to the hair artist, I said, could you just fix that pin? And she went like this, just very loosely, but it became loose, and
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But you handled it so well.
Of course you handled it so well. I mean, with the meditation and everything.
I mean, because sometimes as a CEO, I have to get up and talk in front of people, and I've messed up my words, or my sales reps, they have to do a presentation and they've messed up their words. And one of the things that you taught me is to just get quiet and believe in yourself. And that's where I try and help my girls and tell them, you know what? It doesn't matter. You're not who cares? Just go back within and then say what you're going to say.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
It was funny, but you're a powerhouse, and we all know that.
But don't you think that this is something I taught all of my dance partners when I was working on Strictly Come Dancing? I had to work with the celebrities. I always said, if you're willing to go wrong and laugh at yourself, the audience has your back. If you go wrong and you're like, oh, trying to fake it and pretend that you didn't, they're like, that's faking it. Like they see straight through it. But anybody who is just willing to throw themselves in and joke and go, well, that wasn't very, I look like a silly like doing that. I was an idiot doing that. People are like, oh, you're so honest. I love that. So just be real. Because we can all go wrong,
right?
But and as soon as you try to fake that, people put you on a pedestal, and then it's really hard to keep that up, right? So if I'm going to criticize or judge other people, I've got to be willing to also go, okay, that was comical, and now I'm looking silly, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay, that's fine. But I think always to remember when we're standing in front of an audience is just, if your intention is true, what are you there to say? What is your true intention? What is it that you want to share? Because if people want to judge you on that, let them. If you know that your intention is pure and helpful, then there's always going to be different opinions, but that's okay. We don't always have to all agree at once.
Yeah, that's really
that's
important.
True. I mean, listeners out there, it's, sometimes you feel like you can't trust anyone. And I think, Nicole, this is a good time for you to talk about how you feel in this.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to feel like you can trust people, especially with what goes on in society these days. I had a really traumatic experience that happened to me when I was in college, and I'm still in college, and I actually was in the party scene, doing a lot of drugs and stuff like that. I actually ended up getting drugged and sexually assaulted by 3 of my best friends at a fraternity party, and it was like, it really, it was hard for me for so long to trust anybody, to open my heart, and to really be able to be myself. I was scared, and I ended up isolating. I didn't know if I could tell anyone, but if you're struggling with this, like, you have to reach out and it will help you. And I'm gonna cry because it's
I'm gonna cry
it's hard
too.
to talk about, but you guys, there is people going through the same thing that you are going through, and I know there's so many people going through it. I remember when I called the detectives and I was talking to them, just telling them the story, and they were like, this happens to so many people that we can't do anything about it. And that is what, like, shocked me. I was like, whoa, there's so many people going through this. So I just want you guys to know that if I can talk about it and share my story, like, I want you guys to write in, call me, whatever you want to do, talk to someone, reach out to a friend, reach out to a life coach, talk to your parents. My mom has been such a huge help in my life. Like, she saved my life multiple times, and Camilla has really, like, she's been there for me forever. I mean, I can't thank you both enough for everything you've done for me and giving me that space to really open up, and it's so important. So I love you guys.
I know, amazing, right? This is just,
and you listen, also to your children without judging, which is a huge thing for a parent. Because I'm the mediator often between children and their parents and the other way around. And so for just to be there and not to judge any of those situations, I think that makes a child feel safe to come too. Right. And equally, the judging goes the other way too. There's been times where I guess they've had to work on not judging mom, right?
Yes.
But there is such healing in just that word, judging.
Right.
When we judge, who are we really judging? Ourselves. But I'm so grateful that I could serve in this way for you. And it's been tough, right? You've been on a huge journey, but you've risen, and turned. It just found strength in these moments. And I know you sharing your story in such an honest way will help so many people, because, as you said, it's unfortunately more common than we would like to believe, right?
Yeah, it's.
And to have support is everything. To have support and be able to talk about it, and to be a parent who's willing to listen to this, whatever it is the child takes to you without judgment, is huge.
So this is Camilla Sacre-Dallerup's new book. It's Not You, It's Me. It's such a good read. And Camilla, will you tell us a little bit about it and where we can get it?
Absolutely. I created this book because it's kind of like a life coaching session in a book. And it's mainly because so many people would come to me and talk about what was going on in the relationships outside of themselves. But actually what we would realize that all you can do is work on yourself. So it sort of brings you back to yourself, self-awareness, self-acceptance, inner child work, moving through the difficult wounds that we have within, because they say that any relationship is mirrors to ourselves, right? And basically any relationship will kind of highlight the leaks in your own boat, right? So it's about kind of patching up the leaks, and so you can sail on to whatever it is that you want to be doing in your life. And there's meditations in there, self-care routines. It's really kind of deep dive in to heal yourself. And when you heal the relationship with yourself, the most important relationship you will ever have in your life, you can heal, and you know this, you can heal relationships around yourself, or you can be not affected by them, or you can move on in a really more comfortable way. So it's getting to know yourself first, right? Know thyself, as they say. So yeah, it's available on Amazon and everywhere, Barnes and Noble, on my website, sendme.tv. And by the way, if you're new to meditation, head over to my website and just sign up for the free 21-day meditation or the 7 days. And I'm there to support you. You just literally listen to and you're guided every day, all free. And my Instagram is at Camilla-Dallerup. If you have any questions or anything I can support you with, there's also lots of free meditations on there.
And I would definitely go to her website and listen to her meditations. I don't even like hearing other ones because your voice is so magical. I really create that as part of my routine every day. I listen in the morning when I get up, and she has a new one that's amazing too. But oh my God, I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. We love you so much.
I love you both.
Amazing.
I'm so proud of you both, honestly. Thank you for letting me be part of your journey and trusting me the way you do. It's just a joy to support you.
Thank you for all your help. You're an
amazing.
Incredible inspiration.
We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank Elite Maisón. It's a furniture website where you can go on and find your own mindful line.
And if you want to find us on Instagram, my Instagram is Nicole Senia, at Nicole Senia, and Samantha's is at Sam Senia.
Anything else you want to tell us or tell the audience?
Just want to say, sometimes when we go through difficult times, we think we're alone. You're not alone. There's so many people out there that have gone through similar stuff. So reach out, find your tribe, find your people, and one breath at a time, one day at a time. That's how it starts. Just one little action in that direction, whether that's your 1 minute of new breathing exercises or 3 minutes of meditation. Just start and know that there is support for you. Reach out, find that support. It's around you.
I love that.
Thank you. I want to thank our listeners. We love you guys. We are here for you, and you guys are the light. You guys bring joy to our life too. So thank you.
Thank you. You're listening to The Power of We.
See you next time on The Power